Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. We've got a couple of bits of news for the weekend, and it's pretty big actually. Yeah, it's pretty big. Let's just dive right in. Here we go on Friday, the 31st of October. Is that a special day? Maybe it's a special day. I don't know. We're planning to launch 3 events simultaneously. So 2x Ancient Shard event. Straightforward enough. It is what we expected, and of course, this is overlapping the champion chase for the fusion, so that's great. But there's also going to be a 15x at the same time, which is really, really nice. The 15x actually does last for the entire 2x event as well. That's all great. We'll come back, we'll look at the actual champions, but yeah, getting a 15x where you can, there's some really good ones in here. Getting 15x for some actual really good champions on top of your fusion 2x ancients is fantastic. Like 2x Ancients is like the best champion chase event for a fusion. 15x on top. Sweet. Now, there will also be, during this champion chase tournament, perfect souls for Sanguine Maria, and also, of course, for doing the fusion, the Thorn Golem champion fragments. Now, this is both good and bad news. So, first place, this is the problem. It's only first place on the leaderboard for 50 players. So 1 in 50 people will get Sanguine Maria's Perfect Soul. And that's it. Now, bad news, again, it's also dependent on your level in game, your account level. So if you're level 1 to 41, it's only a 3-star, which sucks. If it's level 42 to 64, you get a 4-star. That's actually probably a pretty decent spot to be in. Where, yeah, hopefully you're still low enough level that there won't be as many whales and stuff, and fingers crossed you could actually potentially win this one. And you need to get 3,000 points as well. Now, if you're level 65 to 100, it is the 5-star, but you need to get 5,000 points, which is quite a bit. But yeah, so you have to come first out of the 50 players to get her soul. What this means is this is likely, in fact, almost definitely, this will be the only way to get a guaranteed form of her soul. And that means that we do not need to have, or we won't have the opportunity for a Hero's Path or a Titan event after this to give her soul. So yeah, I am hard locking in my prediction. I mean, I'd already locked it in, but I think Fusion ends, not this weekend, but next weekend. Coming up to this time next week, the Fusion will be coming to an end. I think, again, that's where we go in to that Leonardo path. It's almost definite now. There's not going to be any event for her soul. This is the event for the soul. It's a bad one. It's a bad one. But yeah, it does mean that the Leo, I think a Leonardo path the weekend next week, not this weekend, but next weekend is almost 100% certain. I would have said it already kind of was almost 100% certain. I think at this point it basically is almost 100% certain. And yeah, then it leaves really everything open. As soon as that Leo event ends, I know it's the thing we've been talking about, probably, let's be real, too much for the last couple of months. But going then into the rest of November, there was like nothing, right? We finish the Sanguine Maria fusion, we finish the Leo path. We're done with Halloween, we're done with the turtles. We are fully on to end of the year mode at that point. So what's next in raid? New content, what's coming, what's gonna hit us? Yeah. So that's where I think we could really start hitting a lot of hype again. I feel like, we've been really, yeah, it's at that rough part of raid at the moment, end of October, where it's like you haven't really given us much about what's coming next, and the stuff that's in the game is getting a bit old. So yeah, we're definitely due for that new hype. It's not far away. Like I said, it's I think about a week and a half, 2 weeks away from actually getting into some stuff. There could easily be as well some downtime, right? Like we finish the Leo path, they're not going to give us all the info like just the bang on next day. But I think there might be a little bit of downtime in the game, which probably people be grateful for. A little bit of downtime with not much going on. But yeah, if we are not like halfway through November, getting towards the end of November, and they're just blasting us with like new free login champion, bunch of new stuff, I'd be shocked. So yeah, stuff to look forward to. Again, to come back to this kind of sucks. Her soul is very good. I think she's very good, but it's winning a tournament. Roll the dice, right? I mean, unless you're a massive spender in the game, roll the dice. Will you get a massive spender in the game in your tournament? If you do, you've lost, and there's nothing you can do. If you don't, then if you've stockpiled enough resources, maybe you can win, but it's tough. So yeah, it's this is a real bummer. You could, if you got lots of gems saved, convert them into ancient shards and pull lots, but yeah. Let's look at the 15x. Let's look at this. We got some really nice champions in here, I think. So look at our legendaries first. Venalicia Thrall Mother, Rotos the Lost Groom. It's all Halloween themed. Morrigan, Kaja the Rye, Timid the Fool. And then from the Voids, Gaspard the Accused, Sifi the Lost Bride, and Constantine the Dayborn. So Venalicia, I think this is the big one. She is brand new, and I think she's really, really good. I just tested her in Arena, and I think she's going to be amazing elsewhere as well. People are loving her. So what you have with Venalicia, number one, really good base stats. Really good. She has a Team Revive on a 4-turn. That also increases enemy skills by 2 turns. This effectively locks them out for just... Well, actually, typically, you know, because you get a cooldown... If you have none of your skills are on cooldown at all. They're all available. And this happens. It locks them out for 1 turn, right? Because they take a turn, they're already down to 1. They take a second turn, they're down to 0 cooldown remaining, and they can use their skills. That being said, because it's on a revive, almost always, she'll be reviving people after skills are already on cooldown. So this might not... This could be really good. It could be really bad. Their skills might be on like a maximum. I think there's maximum cooldowns, and you can't push them past that. So, for example, you couldn't push Rotus's A3 past a 3-turn cooldown. But yeah, if skills have like cooled down a little bit, you'll basically likely push them back to max. So this is quite interesting. It's a stronger revive as well, with decreasing ally skills by a turn if she is the last person alive. And again, she's got very good base stats to enable that to happen. She has an A2, which is a full buff removal that is affinity friendly, very strong. And then it places block buffs, decreased defense, which is very strong. Her A1 is a triple hit with weaken. So the triple hit, you know, just for a bit of Fire Knight utility as well, why not? And yeah, weaken as well. Each hit with a 75% chance of weaken. So that's a very high chance to place weaken, even through bad affinity. Really good. So yeah, I mean, you look at her for Hydra, you're getting AoE buff removal, block buffs, decreased defense. For like Chimera, for Demon Lord, you're getting weaken, decreased defense, and block buffs, plus a reviver. It's very strong. She also has an accuracy in all battles aura. It's not the best. Then Warp Benevolence. She gets 20% turn meter whenever an ally dies. That's really strong. She can place Pain Link on enemies who do 25% or more of an ally's max HP with a single skill. So she can be throwing out Pain Link like it's nobody's business. And she'll also heal a big chunk when attacked by an enemy under Pain Link. So she ranks Pain Link for Chimera as well. I don't think it will really help all that much at all with doing that trial. That trial is stupidly hard even still. But yeah, for me, she's the big chase. This is the obvious lock-in right here. I think she's incredible. From looking at her, I think she's really, really strong. And bearing in mind, we're probably having 7 new bosses, quite possibly dropping for the end of the year. She's going to be real good in Arena. She's going to be real good against bosses. She's just really good everywhere in the game. She is amazing. Rotos is also very strong. Not as strong, but I think also very strong. He is just a brilliant damage dealer. Super viable, even in Arena. He can just win an entire fight almost solo. Yeah, destroying HP and adding to his own max HP. And then this is the big move. Ignoring 60% defense, you can very easily get that to 100%. Ignore defense, ignores unkillable and block damage. Great. Extra turn if he kills an enemy. It's an extra turn chance on his A1. And yeah, the dude can just bounce around, just doing crazy damage. His passive helps him stay alive, which is really, really strong. So yeah, this guy he's great. Extra turn machine. He does have terrible base stats, which is sort of his thing. And funny enough, he scales really well. His base HP sucks, so he's not that good with HP percentage, but he's incredibly good with flat HP. So you kind of want like flat HP rings and flat HP banners, but with attack percentage on them. He's a really interesting champion in terms of scaling. Very unique. Very, very strong. Yeah, I think Maria is very similar as well to Rotos, honestly. But yeah, there you go. I think they're quite similar champions, mostly arena focused, okay against bosses. But yeah, Rotos is very good, very strong for arena. Yeah, he's really good. I would go for Venalicia first, though. Margain is fine. Casual the Rye is maybe a little bit better, and Timit's a little bit worse. They're all okay. So Margain, she's your turn meter booster. She's okay for Siege. For Siege, she's okay for live arena. Doesn't have the best speed aura, but it's not bad for Siege. She has turn meter decrease and turn meter increase at increased speed, which is cool. I do actually quite like her A2. You can do an AoE True Fear, which is nice. Decrease speed A1. This passive makes her really useful for Amius. Just pumping out the heal reduction can't be removed makes Amius so much easier. She's got very good base speed. She's certainly not top tier by any mean, shape, or form, but she is viable, and you do see her crop up semi-regularly, even in high-end Siege and Live Arena. In fact, we're in a very high-end Siege right now, and I think like there's Margains and stuff there. So you will see her, and she is cool, and obviously visually insane. I love the animation. Kaja and Timit, they're okay. Again, Kaja very similar in the sense that you've got a turn meter booster with, again, 112 base speed, the 19% speed in all battles aura. Again, the same sort of thing, not top tier, but good enough to be viable. And, people don't want to ban them. You can underestimate them. You can put really fast gear on either Kaja or Margain. It can have a really big impact and be difficult to deal with. She also brings in the AoE Revive, which is cool. She heals herself as well. She can remove some debuffs, give you block debuffs, sadly only for one turn. She has a pairing with Timit. She doesn't need it. Yeah, she doesn't need it. It makes her debuff removal way better, but it's not necessary. Timit is very good for Curse City. He's very good for Faction Wars, wave-based content, basically. He's okay in Arena. He can do some okay damage. He can also do quite a lot of crowd control, like increased accuracy, AoE True Fear. He's got AoE buff removal, extra turn if Kaja's on the same team, which is really, really nice. And yeah, heals himself up as well, which is cool. He can turn fears into provokes, which is nifty as well. So he's a bit of a crowd control machine with some decent AoE damage and buff removal. He's a decent champ, but not too crazy. So yeah, this is sort of how I feel about this. Venalicia and Rotos standing very much ahead, and Venalicia being, I think, the big win here. Gaspard and Sifi. So Constantine, I'm not too big a fan of Constantine. He's okay. In fact, he's probably only about that okay. I put him pretty similar to them. Maybe, actually, honestly, probably a bit lower. I'm not a big fan of him. Big fan of Sifi. Sifi's great. Venalicia might actually be more useful, which is insane to say, but there it is. I'm gonna put them equal. And Gaspard, I'm pretty excited for Gaspard as well. I'm gonna put him maybe equal to Rotos. There you go. So that's sort of my vibes. Sifi brings so many buffs, right? Oodles of buffs. Great passive. The Revive, the Irresistible Sleep. She's very, very good for Sand Devil. She gives you that irresistible sleep. It's 100% successful. There's always a 3% chance if something can be resisted, no matter how much accuracy you have, it will be resisted 3% of the time. So she is super for farming Sand Devil, which is very valuable. She's still great in Arena. She's obviously good for PvE content as well. Sifi is still really, really good. I use my Sifi all the time. She's one of my favorite champions. I'm a huge fan of Sifi. She's certainly being power crept a bit. She gets real hard wrecked by supersonic sets and champions like Queen of Hearts, etc. Nell, Volcanos. There's a lot of stuff that troubles her these days, but she's still really good. I think Gaspard is pretty impressive as well. He was not as good as I hoped when we tested him. I did a test with him in Arena on the test server. He wasn't quite as good as I hoped. His damage was a little bit lower than I expected, but nonetheless, this block revive is very strong, and he has a 50-50 to use that whenever an enemy kills an ally, and he instantly activates it whenever an enemy is revived as well. So yeah, the enemy revives somebody, he smacks them with a huge block revive skill. It's kind of disgusting. This move doesn't do great damage, but it does give you a good shield for your team. This move is decent damage, decreased attack and weaken, only for one turn. I think he's okay for Hydra as well, but not top tier, sadly, which is a bit of a bummer. But I think he's a really good Void Legendary. I think his biggest thing is really being a menace to revivers in Arena, and I think he'd be particularly strong in Live Arena. He can also revive your allies when he kills somebody with this move. So yeah, he's very cool for that sort of stuff. There you are. For the epics, we've got Vogoth, Miscreated Monster, and Magnar, and then Madame Ceres and Skullcrown. I would say, out of all of these, I'd say Vogoth is probably the most useful. Miscreated Monster is also pretty good, and Magnar is also good. Um, yeah, Vogoth is the most unique. He opens up a lot of unique strategies for you. Even he showed up with like Geomancer for some strategies in the event dungeons that were really difficult. The reason being he basically heals you that when attacked. So you can build him as just a big HP sponge, and he's just pumping loads of healing to your team. Works very well with modern relics and stuff like that as well. You can get extra out of him. You can also extend debuffs if you build him with accuracy, which is cool. So, and he can put out leeches as well, which is also helpful. This guy is great. He's really strong. Definitely an epic that's worth having. Opens up some very unique strategies that you can't replicate with others. Miscreated Monster, I think it's early game MVP and probably very helpful for faction wars earlier, but he does fall off, right? But good ally protection, AoE stun, decent shield. Yeah, he can stun on his A1, he can fear a bit. Yeah, he's just a solid epic, useful for sure. And then Magnar definitely has fallen off. I'd say he was a really top tier epic for a long time. He was like the best HP nuker in Arena, pretty much for a good while, actually. This move does hit very hard, but I think he's definitely fallen off in the modern day. He's still okay, but yeah, without the legendary blessings, etc., he doesn't quite have the oomph that he had anymore. And there are a lot more options in this faction for damage as well these days. Like Skimpo's not bad, Gorlos is great. Of course, everyone's going to get Carnage eventually for free. They've added some more stuff up here as well. So he's good for sure. But like I haven't used my Magnar much in a long time, but he is good. He's definitely an epic worth having. And he's certainly viable early to mid game, I would say, for sure in Arena. And then Madame Ceres and Skullcrown. Actually, I feel very similarly about both of them. They're both great. I like them both a lot. Probably similarly, not as much as Vogoth, but probably more than these other two. Madame Ceres, I think with pinpoint gear is actually back on the menu for a great budget champion for Arena. Again, more early mid game, still decent for faction wars, but like 4-turn cooldown, full buff removal, decreased attack, and decreased defense is really solid. And then she's got some buff stealing there. She can put out some fears when she's under shield. She's a solid epic, definitely useful. She really struggled for a while in Arena there, where everyone was running Polymorph, and like everyone had a Sun Wukong for free with Polymorph on him, and it was like, ugh. All those sort of, and like just the polymorph meta really hurt her. That's not as much a thing anymore. Um, so yeah, I think she's back being a great budget option again. She's not insane, she's not end game, but she's certainly decent for sure. And then who's the last? Of course, Skullcrown. I really like Skullcrown. She's great because she's AoE damage machine, gives herself unkillable. Yes, there are more champions these days that ignore unkillable, but still very good and a good speed aura. I think she's great. She's also very helpful for faction wars and for some cursed city stages, that sort of thing. She's possibly one of my favorite, definitely epic damage dealers. I do like Ethlin the Golden and High Elves more, but she's really, really strong. And I've even seen some meme teams, the old Sinacia and Skullcrown combo blender teams. I've seen that used a couple of times in like Siege and stuff like that, right? If a team isn't protected by Stone Skin and stuff, like I have seen Sinacia Skullcrown blender teams still do a job. It's just hilarious. I have seen it happen. So there you go. I think I've even seen it a couple of times in live arena. It's very funny. So I do like her a bunch. I'd say Vogoth has the most lasting benefits and the most unique, but they're all really good. So there you go. I think it's a really good 15x. For me, I'm definitely doing it with Ancients. I'm definitely chasing Venalicia. I actually have all the others. Rotos is currently my only empowered legendary on my account. I have him +1. +2 is great for the extra speed. Really, really good. But I've got so many damage dealers on my account. I've got Empress. I've got Nice. I've got Lazarius. I've got Carnage. I've got Gallius. I've got Frolny. I've got so many. And not even including Marius and all the rest. I've got so many damage dealers. I don't use Rotos that much. I'd rather get Venalicia. I'm rather lacking on good supports. So, yeah, I think Venalicia is the one most of you will chase. Rotos is a fine pick as well. I would be inclined to save the other shards if possible. I would be inclined to not be pulling the voids, but I think Gaspard or Sifi are reasonable enough to chase, but maybe not as hype as things like Senna or Marishka, that sort of stuff, which we've had. We have really good Void 15Xs all the time. I think these are both reasonable, but not much must do. I think Venalicia is the big draw here, and then try to fill out any of these epics that you're missing, basically, or get them empowered. They're all pretty worth empowering as well. So yeah, there you go. Let me know what you think about all these events. I think it's a pretty big one. The spicy thing is, of course, Sanguine Maria Soul being locked into a tournament. That is disappointing for sure. If I win it, I win it. But I think I only have like 100 ancients. So yeah, it's not going to do much. Oh, final reminder, final tip to reiterate from my fusion guide. Save your Thorn Golem fragments for champion chase. I think you can save your prism summon pools for that as well. I've got the free one. That's all I'll get. But yeah, save that. I think for the champion chase too. It should help. I think that's about everything. Yeah, there we go. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think about all these events. I will be pulling, by the way, for the Hero's Path tomorrow, the final day. I've got a bit of the way through, not too much, but you know, I'm getting down towards the first key, and then grab this guy, and then we'll have to do the rest with some shards. So I'll be pulling some probably sacred shards, maybe probably sacred shards for that. So I'll see you for that. But that's it. I'll see you for Heroes Paths pulling tomorrow, Ancient Shard pulling on Friday. Yeah, there we go. See you guys soon. Goodbye.